Hello everyone, this is the Leech bringing you Game 3 in a best of 3 between LiquidTLO, the purple Terran here in the top left of Shakuras Plateau, and the orange Zerg ROOTSlush in the bottom right hand corner of Shakuras Plateau. And this is the MLG version of Shakuras Plateau, where players can only spawn cross position here. So should be a very macro intensive game, and we'll see how both players decide to approach this. TLO microing his probes, keeping them, or SCVs, keeping them on most of the middle mineral patches here. And both players will have to see how they approach this game here. A little spoiler alert for Game 2, so if you don't want to hear about what happened there, go watch that game first. TLO actually did not make a barracks right away. He made a supply depot and then went straight to a command center. So it was kind of a different change, or a different strategy by him, but he kept up with Slush's supply. It did eventually lose as he tried to push and attack, and probably tried to force a little too hard, went a little bit quick with his siege tanks, and didn't have enough siege tanks, and Slush was able to clean it up with a lot of Zerglings. Both players are going to know directly where to go to scout, and TLO actually has 2 SCVs here, so that's going to be a tell for ROOTSlush that something tricky is going on. TLO bringing both those down to the natural expansion area of ROOTSlush, and actually pulling one back here now. ROOTSlush actually pulling a lot of drones because he saw 2 SCVs and he's worried something was going on, so he actually lost a lot of mining time there. Little mind games players play with each other like this is very impressive at this level. Barracks is coming down now for TLO. And he actually threw the first supply depot up here, so not using it to contribute to his wall-in. Slush, it does see that barracks going down, and we'll see if he decides to harass that SCV. He is going to come around here, but TLO, knowing that's going to happen, already has an SCV coming off the line to start attacking him. TLO is going to get an SCV up here and just stage him at the natural expansion. Slush is actually going pool first this game, though, before doing his expansion, so he does not want to deal with this SCV nonsense running around circles near his natural to delay him. He's just going to go straight to the Zerglings and get down to business. TLO's barracks about to finish up here at his main, and we'll be seeing that orbital command coming down shortly thereafter. Also the spawning pool about to finish at Slush's base. I keep wanting to call him Root Cats because Cats is the famous Zerg, or the most famous Zerg, I would say, from the Root Gaming clan. So his spawning pool is going to finish up here, and we'll probably be seeing it expand shortly thereafter, as TLO will probably not want to screw around with Zerglings when he has an SCV. Hopefully he will decide to pull back shortly here. 4 Zerglings on the way for ROOTSlush, as well as his first Queen. TLO's orbital command is just about to finish, and very shortly here we'll be seeing the tech routes of both players. ROOTSlush did get 100 gas so he can get that speed down quickly for the Zerglings, and then did not mine any more gas. So just sitting at 4 gas right now, and he's probably not going to mine in there for a while. And here comes the hatch now from ROOTSlush as quick expansion being thrown down. A factory coming down for TLO, so possibly opting to do the same build as he did in the first game, where he went barracks, factory, expand. And the first Queen is going to pop out here for ROOTSlush. Again, a fast Roachborn coming down here, so I'm not sure if he's just very worried about the Blue Flame Hellion, or if he's playing the same as last game, where he just wants to do some early Roach aggression to keep TLO on his toes and make sure he's not trying to get too ahead of himself. TLO's been known to do tricky plays, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he just double expanded at the beginning of the game. He likes to do very creative things like that, and he actually doesn't create or consider himself creative, which is a very interesting thing. I saw an interview with him one time, and he said, you know, I'm not creative, it just is the things that make the most sense to me at the time. So kind of an interesting way of him explaining his thought process there. Hellion starting to come out for TLO, 1 on the way, and 1 after that as well. 4 Roaches coming out for ROOTSlush, so he's going to be more than ready for any Hellion aggression here. His hatchery at his natural is going to finish up here very shortly, and TLO is starting to save up some minerals, so we're probably going to be seeing his expansion thrown down here very shortly. Most likely this SCV here, and I assume any second here as he's above 400. Yep, there goes the command center, and he's starting to move out with his army of Marine and Hellion. TLO opting not to kill the Zergling with those Hellions. Possibly does not want to give that tech away just yet, and we'll follow this Hellion around, see where he's going to decide to go. 2 more Roaches on the way for ROOTSlush, as well as another Queen. So taking a look at the unit counting station, there's 4 Roaches out on the map for ROOTSlush, and just a few Hellions here. They're going to be blocked off, though. They're not going to be able to push into that base, and most likely TLO is just going to pull his Marines and everything back to his main base there. Look at the APM of the players. Why the heck not? Both sitting at 176 average. Pretty good for a pro. That's usually what most pros sit around. There are some that are slower, some that are faster, but on average I'd say that the players outside of micro do sit at around 170 or so. Stim coming down for TLO as well as a starport, as that command center is going to finish up here shortly. And second extractor coming up for ROOTSlush, and the Hellion is going to get into the main here. We'll see if he's actually able to roast any probes or if he's just going to use it for scouting. Probably not going to get any kills, maybe one kill on the probe, or on the drone, sorry. And yeah, one kill is always going to get. 6 more drones on the way. He did see that layer going down though, so that is going to be some good information for him. 5 more drones on the way now for ROOTSlush. ROOTSlush deciding after he killed those 2 Hellions, it's a good time to pump out some drones. Stim is about halfway done for TLO, actually less than half. And TLO's getting a bunker down at the front of his natural. He's laying down the natural much faster this game. As last game, it took a while for him to get his natural down. Morphing into an orbital command here. And he will have some double mule action coming shortly. A medevac coming out for TLO, possibly going to see some drops coming from him. Always fun to watch TLO do drops play. He has such amazing micro. And TLO does do an SCV transfer here. Orbital command just about finished. We do see a glial reconstitution coming down for ROOTSlush, which is the roach speed, as well as an overseer coming out as well. So he might be worried again about cloaked banshees, and or he might just want the extra speed there so he can sack it into the base to scout what's going on. That's probably what he's going to be doing, as you can see by this rally path here. We'll see what he actually does get to see. Siege mode is on the way for TLO. Once again, no siege tanks out, but he's deciding to get siege mode before that ever happens. Dropping a changeling in the base here, and he's going to go through and scout what he can. And we'll see if TLO is able to drop this or not. Just 4 Marines here. It's going to be close. I'm not sure if he's going to... probably not going to be able to kill that overseer. He's going to get away. Zergling speed is on the way for ROOTSlush. I'm sorry, that's it. Yeah, metabolic boost. I thought he had started that earlier, but apparently must have canceled it. An armory coming down for TLO. And that roach speed is finishing up just now. 1 siege tank on the way for TLO, and it's going to have siege mode almost instantly when it comes out. Both players still sitting on 2 base right now. I do expect a expansion coming down from ROOTSlush here fairly soon, if he decides that he's safe enough for it. And starting to put more drones into gas here. He is sitting at around 300 minerals. And TLO is keeping his money very low. Baneling speed on the way for ROOTSlush, and Zergling speed just about to finish up. That armory is finishing now, and a 3rd command center has been started for TLO. And where did he start at? Up here, so he might go through these destructible rocks and lay down the expansion up here. Could be a very safe spot for him, and he can watch these destructible rocks and know when an attack is coming. I'm sorry, I have a terrible cough today apparently. Tech Lab coming down on one of the barracks here for TLO, so going to continue those upgrades coming, or possibly just pumping out Marauders. He does only have the stim upgrade from here right now. 7 more roaches coming down for ROOTSlush, and he is starting to push out with these roaches. They're so fast on creep when they have that speed upgrade. Just continuing to farm larvae and continuing to make those roaches out right now. So decent group of roaches. Baneling speed just about finished. 12 Zerglings being morphed in right now, so I can only assume that he's going to turn those into Banelings and try to possibly do some sort of Baneling attack. There is 2 siege tanks here though, so no Baneling bust is going to occur. That he knows his timings well enough, and he knows that just would not work at this point in the game right now. TLO is more than ready for it. 22 Zerglings on the way. Combat shields on the way for TLO, as well as a few more Marines and a Thor. Baneling speed just now finishing up. And TLO deciding to go that heavy mech play again that he's been going the last few games. Does have quite a few barracks up though, so there is going to be some bio ball mixed in with that. TLO is slightly oversaturated, as Terrans want to be. They can't make workers quite as fast as everyone else can, so he's going to be pumping out some extra SCVs, so when he lays down his 3rd it will be instantly saturated. And morphing in his 3rd right now into an orbital command and starting to attack these rocks here. More roaches coming out for ROOTSlush, as well as another hatch here, his 3rd coming down just north of the position from his last expansion. 7 more roaches on the way now for ROOTSlush, and the first Thor is finishing up for TLO. Siege tanks on the way for him now, and an additional factory coming down so he can keep that mech play going. These Zerglings just kind of poking and prodding where they can. Changeling coming in for ROOTSlush, so we'll see if TLO notices that right away, or if he's able to get and actually get some valuable scouting information. He has stopped walking right now though, and level 1 Terran vehicle weapons is on the way right now for TLO. And I hear some units loading up into medevacs. It's like 2 of these medevacs here do have units loaded up, and possibly going to see a drop coming in here from TLO. So we will watch these units here and see where they decide to go. They are going to loop around here up by where he's throwing down his next base. And there is a Zergling here watching though, and another Zergling up here. So he's being very careful to watch for any sort of drop play. This Changeling is going to come in, but get caught before he actually gets up the ramp, as well as that Changeling. And a big attack coming in now. Lots of Zergling, lots of Roaches, and Banelings to come in behind there. So we'll see if ROOTSlush is able to do the damage he wants to do with that. And it looks like he is going to. Lots of Banelings exploding all over everything. Roaches taking down the Thor, and TLO's economy is falling apart right now. That third base is not at all saturated. He's going to lose this orbital command if he does not lift it off soon. It is on fire right now in the air, and there's no way he's going to get SCVs to repair that unless ROOTSlush lets him. TLO is 40 behind on the supply right now. He's not going to be able to recover from this. He is in way too much danger, and there is the GG. So TLO, knowing that once those Roaches get into his production facilities, that there's no chance that he was going to come back from that. And it was just kind of bad timing there on those medevacs. There's no way he really would have known where the army was at unless he moved out a unit or two. But TLO loaded up 2 medevacs full of units that you see over here at Slush's third. That would have helped him hold that off big time, especially if he had an additional bunker or so up right here. And maybe an additional siege tank, maybe up on the high ground or something. But TLO just got caught a little off guard, getting a little greedy, trying to get his third before the Zerg player, and Slush would have none of it and decided he was going to go in and end this game. So a great best of 3 by both players. Slush coming out ahead, winning the last 2 games in a row. But a lot of fun to watch. I hope you guys enjoyed him as well. And if you did, I hope you will subscribe to the Leech StarCraft on YouTube. Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to go sleep for a few hours before work. Thank you very much.